Alright, so I kind of want to talk about something. I normally don't do gaming videos, but I kind of just upload things I'm passionate about. And recently, I've done the liberty and bought Black Ops 6. I know, cringe, might as well just get it on the Game Pass, but yes, I did pay full price for this game, and I basically want to do a review of the campaign. I just finished it for my first time, and kind of want to give my thoughts and opinions about it. On top of that, maybe to sway you if you, this is like a before you buy situation. You know, if you don't want to buy Black Ops because the multiplayer looks mid and the zombies looks okay, but you're more interested in the campaign, obviously, as every Call of Duty fan is, everyone just wants campaign. No, but seriously, I do want to make a, overall review of the campaign, just in case you're thinking about playing it and maybe you just don't know if you want to start that time investment, or if maybe you still haven't bought the game because you're waiting to see if the campaign's good enough. And what I will say is, with being spoiler free here with the campaign, I'm going to be running some gameplay. The gameplay is pretty much spoiler free, like it's a mission, but it's kind of just a showcase of what the missions are going to be kind of like. Nothing too major in terms of stories in it. It's kind of like a filler story mission in that way. So hope you don't mind if I'm playing the gameplay. If you want to be completely spoiler free, feel free to click off the video. Anyways, moving into a spoiler free version of the campaign. Now, if you were to ask me, where would I rank the campaign story on a tier list or a out of 10? Honestly, unbiasedly, I'm obviously not paid to say good things about the game or whatever. And I have played a majority of the Call of Duty campaigns. Not all of them, but I've played a majority of them. Like the Black Ops GOATs and, 2019 Modern Warfare and stuff like that. Generally, all the Modern Warfares pretty much. What I will say, in my personal opinion, maybe this is a hot take, I haven't seen any discussions yet, as this game is only not even a day old, as I'm recording this. But I would rate the story a solid 8.5 out of 10. Definitely good. Had some issues here and there, but if we're looking at it outside lens here, just the story of the game, it does really well at connecting the dots with a lot of different things, and maybe adding references here and there, without spoiling, of course. They have a few people in the campaign that you will definitely recognize, so that's a nice thing to have, and they do a pretty big role, I guess. Some get backlined, some get frontlined. It's a mixed bag of the characters, but I will say the main crew, I definitely don't think is annoying or cringe to listen to. So if you're concerned with a lot of dialogue issues, because a lot of single-player-esque games nowadays don't really have the best dialogue, in my personal opinion, the dialogue's definitely fine. I don't think the dialogue's bad. I don't think the dialogue is anything to buy the game over. Now, I'm assuming most people aren't buying the game just for the campaign, but it is technically $100 to get access to this content, so I will be ranking it off that $100. $100 is a steep price. Talking Canadian. I'm Canadian, unfortunately, but yeah, $100. I would say is a little overpriced for the campaign. If I was to compare it to things without getting into spoilers, of course, I would say the campaign felt like a quarter of Dying Light mixed with a quarter of Far Cry, maybe 5, because I've only really played 5, and then a 50% of kind of just a lot of things, I'd say. Maybe 50%, let's just call it like the older CODs, like the Modern Warfare 3s and 2s and 1s. In terms of just campaign we're talking about here, not gameplay. Now, I do think the gameplay is by far the best in this game than it has been in any campaign ever for Call of Duty. I don't even think it's close. Now, I do fondly hold Black Ops 1 and 2 very, very high in my sort of ranking list. definitely some of the best campaigns I've ever played in gaming history, on top of them being Call of Duty. You know, it is what it is. I would rank this either the same level or below it. That might be a hot take. I personally just think this campaign is very well done just in gameplay alone. You get to do a lot of this similar Call of Duty events, you know, if you're used to those quick time events where there's like a bunch of stuff going on, you know, you get that tingle down your spine, you know, a little bit of clenched cheeks here and there. This campaign definitely has that. It's definitely not missing out on that, which is something I can really appreciate, because I was really worried going into this campaign that it wasn't really going to be fun to play, and it was going to more or less be like, okay, let me just get my ×2 XP boosters and then move on. That's kind of like where I thought it was going to be. But another thing to note about the campaign is the main character you play, again, spoiler free. Just talking about the main character, there's a lot of stuff going on, but the main character you play is pretty much unknown white dude 1, and so you play as the dude, so maybe if you don't like playing dudes, well, game's not for you. But, you know, and being white, let's be honest, in this day and age, you know what I mean? But, you know, all that being aside, all jokes being aside, yeah, playing the main character, you definitely get dialogue options, and you get to find out a little bit more. There's some secrets in missions and outside of missions, if you catch my drift, without spoiling, that you can go out of your way and figure out how to do. They're pretty fun. I'm not, like, they weren't boring, you know? This game also has a lot of unlock mechanisms, and if you don't know what I mean by that, think of like the Fallout, where there's hacking and there's lockpicking and stuff like that. It's the same thing with this, added a few more. One of them I find to be pretty fucking annoying after doing it a bunch of times, not looking forward to replaying the campaign. Another note, I did play the campaign on the second hardest difficulty. I believe it's called Hardened. I didn't play on Veteran. I'll probably do a Veteran playthrough, just for fun, and to rip my hair out. But, yeah, overall, not too bad. Guns felt really, really good in this game, as far as the campaign's concerned. A lot of the equipment, you get access to, like, a bag, where you, basically, if you pick up, you can have, like, 3 or 4 lethals at the same time. You just swap between them. It's kind of nice. It's an interesting way of doing it. There was a lot of things the campaign did really, really well, and nothing the campaign really did bad. And what I mean by bad, some people might not enjoy it, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. Bad I would consider to be those 1 or 2 missions you get in almost every Call of Duty campaign, where you're just like, you're getting annoyed, and you're just like, it's either enemy placements are terrible, there's an enemy in it that sucks to deal with, or there's something going on where it's just like, okay, can we just move on so I can get to, like, the actual story? Like, I don't care about this, I just want to get to the end here, you know? And at no point during this campaign I felt that way. For a few of the Modern Warfares I felt that, more specifically the Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 campaigns, and a little bit of Cold War. Just to preface, I didn't really finish Cold War's campaign. I kept on getting disconnected from the servers. That, however, was not the case day 1 with this campaign, so I'm assuming it's not going to be the case going a year into it. However, things may change, who knows? So if I'm wrong about that, it is what it is. As far as bugs go, I do think there was no game-breaking bug I encountered. Not once did the game crash. Not once did the game have something happen other than goofy body physics. Other than that, the only real bug I encountered was there was a floor that didn't render in properly, and I just waited a few seconds and then it rendered in. One of those see through the maps, if you touch it you go into the void situations. So I just kind of didn't mess with that, which is kind of refreshing. I don't think I've played a Call of Duty campaign that didn't have at least one bug, you know? So yeah. The game promotes a lot of versatility when it comes to the campaign missions, and I will say there's a lot of different ways to do them. However, the lot of different ways typically ends up being the predictable, you know, go around quiet or, you know, just start the gunfight. With that being said, if that's like the game changer for you and why you don't want to play the game, I completely understand. But I personally just think that's just like a staple. There's not really much you can do there. Campaign definitely threw a lot of curveballs. Some of them a little confusing in terms of the story, but I think they're fine. I don't think they're bad. I just think they might not hit for a lot of people. I'm more or less kind of referring to, if you have played the game, again, spoiler free, the final areas of the mission are a little like, I can understand if you don't like the campaign based on how the final mission is going. Not in terms of it's bad or whatever, it's just that there's certain sequences that don't really make a lot of sense as certain I'm trying to keep this very vague, but let's just say the final mission might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I do think it's not a bad mission. Definitely not comparable to the final missions in the other Black Ops games. However, I do think this final mission is still like good. I think it's passable. I think the really good part of the campaign is the meat, though. You know, there's a lot of things to do in terms of game time. I think this campaign took me about 9 hours to complete. Maybe that's too short for you. Personally, again, that $100 price tag is a little steep, but it being 9 hours, I think is fair for a Call of Duty campaign, especially because there's replay value here. And by replay value, I mean there's weapon skins you can earn to get to multiplayer, and there's calling cards you can get, stuff like that, little cosmetic things. The weapon blueprints, I think, are going to be important. If you are curious, we're going to go into the spoilers here. So if you want spoiler free, up until this point, you're safe. But after this point here at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, we are now going into spoiler territory. So feel free to click off if you don't, and continue the video because you want to see the review of how I think everything was. Here we go. So, getting into spoilers here, the game promotes a lot of customization in terms of upgrading your character. You're able to buy upgrades to effectively change how your character works, and from my understanding, it seems like you get a main character hub, I guess, where like you talk with all the boys, similar to Cold War, and then you have the evidence board. But before you go to the evidence board, you're able to upgrade your character in terms of weapons, in terms of HP, in terms of, you know, equipment stuff, very basic stuff. Most of it's like plus 50% explosive damage, you know, getting shot at increases your movement speed, getting to low HP will give you a burst of healing, stuff like that. And they cost money, and the way you get money is by finding them in the missions. Some of them are locked behind secret safes that you have to find a radio for. I found that to be a pretty cool mechanic. I didn't mind it. It's almost in every mission, I believe. I think I missed one or two. However, you can just replay the mission and go do them. The calling cards always give you the challenge before even entering the mission, so you can actually look at the challenge, and then you're able to do the mission for the first time and attempt to complete that challenge, which I thought was pretty cool, since you don't have to complete it, and then you have to redo it. A lot of the challenges I just saw beforehand, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll keep my eyes open for that, pretty much, and, you know, opportunity presented itself. Now, each mission is fairly long. I would say, on average, the missions probably take anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, I would say, in that range. A few of them a little shorter than others, some of them a little longer than others. That's kind of how I would go there. Definitely not bad. I don't think it's bad. If there are people who didn't like the way the story went in terms of the final mission and everything, I completely understand. However, I just don't think it's bad. I just think it's like a preference thing. They did really try to emphasize a dying light story here, and that's really risky. However, Call of Duty in Black Ops 1 and 2 was very heavy on like mental things. You know, obviously you had the Vorkuta incident in Black Ops 1. You had Mason and the Kravchenko storyline. Like, there was a lot of mental stuff, if you remember and go play back those games, which I did recently, and that's why it's so fresh in my mind. But I do think they were... I think the campaign's fair. I do think people are gonna not like it. At least some people might not like it. I do think the campaign is pretty fair in terms of story. The gameplay is pretty fun, I would say. In terms of all campaigns I've played in COD, not all of them in terms of every campaign, but all the ones I've played, I definitely enjoyed this one the absolute most. There was way more things to do in terms of, oh, do I pick up a FAL or the SCAR? Gee, I wonder which one I'm gonna do this mission with. In this game, it felt like I really could just pick almost any weapon and then do the mission with that weapon. There's no created class similar to like a Black Ops 2, which at first I was a little concerned with, but as I started playing, I didn't mind it because it's not like you earn camos or anything for it anyways, so it is what it is. The upgrade stations I thought were pretty cool. I would have liked to see like more crazy stuff though. Like if you're gonna have upgrade stations, make like some of the max tiers do crazy things like wild stuff, like punching an enemy or like gun bashing an enemy fucking explodes them or something. Some wacky stuff like that, just to make it a little more fun. Similar to like Halo Skulls, but like make them like all of them are Grunt birthday party instead of, you know, all of them being fucking cancer to deal with, you know. But I do think campaign, fine. Gameplay, really good. One of the best COD has ever produced. Graphically, I think this campaign is also almost on a different level. However, I've kind of said that every single time I've done a campaign in COD. Like, you know, from Modern Warfare 2019, it's like, wow, I can't imagine it getting better than this. And then when we play Modern Warfare 2, wow, I can't imagine it getting better than Modern Warfare 3. Wow, I can't imagine it, you know. So that's kind of a recurring thing. But the cutscenes at some point, like the pre-rendered ones, literally, I thought they were just real life shots if the hair wasn't so, I guess, clean looking in desert environments. But yeah, the campaign, I think overall is a W. I think it's a pretty good campaign. Is it worth the $100? No. No campaign's gonna be worth $100. I don't care if you're Space Marines 2. The campaign's not worth $100, alright? But I do think like if you are on Game Pass, you have the game for free, campaign is a good campaign. Is it one of the best? Will it win Game of the Year for having a good campaign? No shot. It's not perfect. Has a few confusing things and odd angles they went for, but overall I think it works very well. A very diverse cast of characters, and I don't mean in terms of, you know, rainbow flag. I mean in terms of like, you know, you have a German scientist, you have like the main character, unknown white dude number 1. I was a little disappointed with the way they handled Woods, only because I would have liked to see Woods just do more than be cranky in a wheelchair. But unfortunately, it's kind of all he did, other than a few good moments. But yeah. The main character, Case, I actually thought was pretty well done. While your character doesn't say anything, you definitely have the how do you say? Like, you have the control over what he says, but it'd be interesting to see, like, if Call of Duty wants to go down this route. Overall, it did really feel like a Far Cry-esque story, with hints of, like, a Dying Light aspect in it, and I don't mind that at all. More specifically, there's a few missions that completely blow the others out, not blow the others out of the water, but, like, they're very surprising. They're very out of left field, and it's almost, like, refreshing, you know? And if you want to complain about the reused assets that they do for some of the enemy models, and, you know, and you want to complain about the chunky health bars on certain enemies, hey, that's completely fine. I completely understand. I know that fighting an enemy with 4 health bars isn't fun. I come from a long line of playing games where basically the difficulty is number higher, and that's pretty much all it was for the difficulties in this game. However, I do think the campaign's good enough for, like, a Call of Duty, for sure, but I think it's good enough to just play standalone. Like, if you just play the campaign, and you get all your fun from the campaign, I actually wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the multiplayer ends up aging very poorly, and maybe zombies ends up looking like shit later down the road. If you want to still play for campaign every now and again, I actually think that, like, this game might be a good callback, you know? It has a lot of references, like I mentioned, and the secrets are pretty cool. I always like a game that has extra things to do, even when there's, like, not much going on, even if it's cosmetic related or whatever. But yeah, cool puzzles. Overall, I definitely give this campaign, like, an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's good, you know? I think it'll age a lot better. A lot of the audio was done very well. The game definitely, like, the developers knew what they were trying to do. And very early on, you get a lot of references to, like, the older Black Opses, including the music. You know, shout out to 115, just saying. But yeah, it's great. It's a great campaign. You know, solid 8.5 out of 10. I would even put it to a 9 out of 10. Maybe if I play it a few more times, we'll see how well that ages. Checkpoints are very generous. You're not normally gonna find really annoying parts. There are times where you'll kill like 30 enemies and then you get set back and it's like, ah, for fuck's sake. But overall, like, the max amount of time you're gonna lose, unless you play like super slow, is probably like 5 minutes off of death. Isn't too bad. It's not terrible. And 5 minutes is being like very exaggeratory, you know. It's probably closer to like 2 minutes, but I'm just saying 5 because sometimes it felt annoying. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions. I think the campaign's definitely worth trying, especially if you own the game, and if you have it on Game Pass and you're not feeling multiplayer or zombies, I'd at least try the campaign. It's not bad at all. And yeah, it's got a bunch of people you'll recognize. Not really much else to say other than that. I had fun. Probably going to do multiple playthroughs, try to get the items, I guess. And of course, since we're in the spoiler section, you know, if I ruined a lot of the part of the game for you, I apologize, but I mean, I did warn you, to be fair. But yeah, with all that being said, I just want to thank you for watching. I kind of wanted to make a Black Ops 6 video. I've been waiting for this game for a little bit, ever since I heard zombies coming back, and I'm not even playing this game for the campaign, I'm playing it for the zombies, so I'll probably do reviews on the maps or something. I'll figure out something to do. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good day.